Hey guys, I hope you guys are doing well today. Today we are going to be doing lesson 114 and we are doing your guided practice worksheet. All right. So if you want to go ahead, if you don't already have it, get it out of your packet. You also need a pencil. Let me see if we need crayons. We do not. I do not see anywhere we need crayons. So you just need pencil and eraser. Okay. All right. So if you don't have the worksheet and a pencil and an eraser, go ahead and pause me. Okay. And then play it once you've got that stuff. Okay. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. So first, you want to grab a ruler and it says to draw a 3-inch line segment for your name. Okay. So make sure you're lining that ruler up with the dot where it begins to measure. Now, the rulers that I gave you guys, it starts at the edge. So that makes it pretty easy. But you always want to look and make sure, because some rulers, there will be a little bit of extra, okay, before it starts. So line up there and go till you get to the 3, and then you need name, date, day of the week. All right, so this is for Wednesday. Okay. All right, you guys got it written down? So you should have 4/15/20 or April 15th, 2020. And today's Wednesday. All right, so number 1 says write the number 103 on the place value chart. Okay, so 103. Okay, so we've got our place value chart just like on our student of the day board. Okay, so we're going to write the number 103. All right, so you should have written it like that. All right, and then they say circle the digit that tells the number of tens. All right, so when it's on the place value chart, that makes it pretty easy. Okay, your first place, the first number's 1. Okay, that is your, sorry, I was looking at it backwards. Sorry, your ones place. Okay, so your ones place, that's where you start 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, everything starts in the ones place. Okay, so then once we cross over to 10, 0 is in your ones place. That's why anything that is less than 2 digits that you add to 10, it can just slide into that ones place because 0 is nothing, right? All right, so your tens place comes next, the tens. So the number we're going to circle is that 0. Okay, and then after your tens comes hundreds. So the third number anytime is going to be the hundreds place. The second number anytime is going to be the tens place. All right, number 2. The children in room 2 had 5 frogs. Okay, I'm going to draw 5 frogs. Actually, I'm going to draw circles. Okay, I know that you guys miss my beautiful artwork. So, but I'm just going to draw circles so we can save some time. Okay, all right. All right, so said the children in room 2 had 5 frogs. Okay, so you should have drawn 5 frogs or circles. Okay, they gave 1 frog to the children in room 3. They gave away their frog. Okay, so they gave away 1. So I'm going to X 1 out. Okay, so I've got my 5 and I put an X over 1. All right, now it says draw a picture and write a number sentence to show what happened. So now I need to do my number sentence. Okay, so what's the first number in my number sentence? 5. Okay, I hope you said 5. All right, and then is this some more or some went away? Well, the frog went to room 3, so it's some went away. So that is minus. So you need your subtraction sign. Okay. All right, and then how many frogs went to room 3? Just 1. All right, don't forget your equal sign. Without it, you're just writing numbers. All right, so 5 minus 1, how many do they have left? 4 is what you should have gotten. 5 minus 1 equals 4. Don't forget they ask you one more time about that answer. how many frogs were left, so you put it down there too. Number 4. All right, number 3 says count the tally marks. Blank tally marks. All right, so if I look over in the box at the tally marks, remember anytime you see tally marks with a sideways diagonal line, you know that that's 5. Okay, on a math worksheet, we're going to trust it. Okay, if somebody's counting dollars or something, you might want to double check it. But on a math worksheet, we're going to believe it. Okay, so you can look at this and count by 5s. So I want you to look at it and I want you to try. Okay, so hopefully you've been able to count them. If not, pause me. All right, so what did you get? Okay, well, hopefully you got 47. Okay, so we're going to look at it. We're going to look at why. Okay, so I'm going to count by 5s. Okay, remember, anytime there's a diagonal line, there's 5. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 46, 47. Okay, so there are 47 tally marks. All right, so hopefully that's what you got. 47. All right, anytime that diagonal line is there, so you should not be sitting there counting each little dash. Okay, all right, number 4. Finish this pattern. Okay, so look at what they give us. They give us 4, 14, 24. Look at it for a minute. See, does that sound familiar? What are they doing? What do those numbers have in common? Okay, well, they all have a 4 in them. Okay, right? So if we look at that ones place, they all have a 4 in the ones place. Huh, well, that's curious. Could they be counting by tens? Do you see it? They're starting with 4 and they're counting by tens. Okay, so this is something we've done before. It might have been a little while, so I'm just going to remind you. Okay, so it's like if you were saying 0, 10, 20, right? But instead it's 4, 14, 24. So see, the tens place is changing, the ones place is staying the same. So that's how you know they're counting by tens. Okay, if it was jumping around and it was a 5 and a 3 and a 7 and stuff, then they're not counting by tens. But it's staying the same, just like if you were counting by tens the way you're more comfortable with, the ones place would stay a 0. It would be 0, 10, 20. Okay, so they're just counting by 4s, starting with, counting by 10, starting with the number 4. All right, so you have 4, 14, 24. So next should be 34. All right, so 34 would come next. So 4, 14, 24, 34. All right, think about what would be next. Try to do it, and then I'll show you what the answer is. If you want to take a sec with this, you can pause. Okay. If you're pretty close to done, you can just look. Okay. All right, so we have 4, 14, 24, 34, 44, 54, 64, 74, 84, 94. Okay, so you're just counting by 10, starting with 4. So hopefully you guys remember that. Number 5 says, write the answers. Fill in the correct comparison symbol. Okay, so this is where you're doing the greater than, less than, or equal to. All right, so remember these symbols. It's our alligator. Remember, the alligator is greedy and he wants to eat the biggest number. All right, because he's very, very hungry. So your first one, we have a 23 and a 17. Okay, so you want to look at the 23 and the 17 and think, which of those numbers is bigger? All right? So if I want to know which number is bigger, first I'm going to look at the tens place, okay? Because if you have something that is bigger than 10, it's definitely bigger than something that is less than 10. Okay, so I'm going to look at my tens place. We have a 2 and we have a 1. Okay, so 2 is bigger than a 1, so I'm going to say that the 23 is bigger than 17. All right, so I'm going to make it so that my alligator is trying to eat him. Okay, so now we have 23 is greater than 17. All right, all right, the next one we have 16 and 38. All right, hopefully you immediately recognize that 38 is larger than 16. But if you don't, look at the tens place. You have a 1 and you have a 3. Okay, so the 3 is a bigger number, so 38 is what the alligator is going to try to eat. Okay, so this says 16 is less than 38. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Okay, this over here looks different. We have math problems on both sides, okay? So before you can figure out which side is bigger or which is greater than, less than, or equal, first you have to find out what the answers to those problems are. Okay, so first you have 3 plus 9. Okay, if you remember 3 plus 9, we know that 2 plus 10, or, right, you know that 2 plus 10 would be 12. So 3 plus 9 is 12, okay? So you can just borrow the number over because you should know what adding 10 to another number is. Okay, and double 6 plus 6 is 12. All right, so the answer to both of them is 12. All right, so then what is the alligator going to do if they're exactly the same? He's going to try to eat both. Okay, so 3 plus 9 is equal to 6 plus 6 because 12 and 12 are the same number. Okay, all right, number 6. Okay, this is what we did yesterday. It says find the answers. We have problems where you're adding 3 numbers together. All right, so the first one we have 5 plus 6 plus 5. All right, so if you want to use something to count, like the pennies or little toys or little pieces of paper, you can do that. Or you can look at the problem the way that I'm about to, where I'm going to break it down like we did yesterday. Okay, so when I look at this, I see a double. Hopefully you do too. There's 2 numbers that are the same. You should see that 5 plus 5 right away. So I'm going to add them together. So right underneath it, I'm going to write a 10. And then the 6 was not involved, so I'm going to keep it. So I have 10 plus 6 equals. Okay, so see, I added the 5 plus 5 to get the 10. All right, so 10 plus 6 equals, hopefully you got 16. Okay, don't forget, anytime you add a number to 10, you're just going to slide that number into that 0 place. All right, so the next one is 4 plus 1 plus 6. All right, so I'm going to look at that. And I'm going to see, is there anything I recognize? Are there any numbers that when I put them together will be something that I know how to work with? Okay, hopefully you guys see that 4 and the 6, because 4 plus 6 is 10. Okay, we know those sums of 10 makes everything easier. Okay, so if I add 4 plus 6, I'm not using the 1, so I'm going to keep it. I'm going to bring it down. 4 plus 6 is 10. Okay, so here's that 1. So 10 plus 1 is, hopefully you said 11. Okay, so 4 plus 1 plus 6 equals 11. All right, so hopefully that helped you guys. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope that all of that is making sense. If you have any questions, you guys can have your mom send me an email. You guys take care of yourselves. Send me pictures if you're doing something cute. All right, bye.